Anchor support. So this is again one of the very important pipe support which is used in piping systems very commonly. So again, as we are talking about various subtopics on support, pipe supports, if you go to this link, you will first find this quiz where you can look into the correct few of the multiple choice questions, where there will be a question along with the few options. If you select any of the choices and click over show answer, if it is right, then it will turn green. If it is wrong, then it will turn red, along with the detailed explanation. So this is how you can attempt this quiz section. If you are already confident about the subject anchor supports, then you can attempt this quiz at the beginning, or maybe once you watch this video or you go through this article at the bottom, then also you can attempt the quiz at later stage. So similarly, we already talked about purpose of pipe supports, restraints, support standard, determining pipe support locations, determining loads and movement, anchor support, shoe support, saddle support. So now let us talk about this section, that is anchor supports. So if you go to bottom, you will find this article that is talking about anchors that are there in piping systems. So basically these are the supports which restrict the movement in all three directions, that is XYZ. We can restrict all three directions, not only these three directions but the rotational axis also, right? So that is the beauty of this support. All these directions we can restrict the movement. So when there is a expansion, thermal expansion, contraction, or any other scenario, any other load case, then we can think about this support which restrict the movement in many directions at the same time. So they are typically welded stanchions. If you look at this is a half beam which is welded through with the pipe, right? So this is a kind of a shoe support which we already discussed. Now let us talk about two types of anchor supports. If you see this figure, one is fixed anchor and this is directional anchor. As the name indicates the type, if you see for this is welded at this point, and it is welding at this point also. The beam where it is resting, there also it is welded. That means we have restricted this movement. Once it is welded, it is part of this beam, right? So there will be zero movement. At the same time, there is a directional anchor also, where this is not welded here, this is welded here only at this point, and the this shape is welded, this guide support is welded on the beam itself, right? But it is not welded with the shoe. That means this direction it can move, but this direction it is restricted. So that is why we are calling it directional anchor. Okay, so based on these features, wherever we require, we need to limit the movement in some direction, we can use it, right? We need to look into various loads and stresses, pipe material and insulation, and structural stability also. If it is a very heavy line and we are restricting permanently, then this structure has to be very strong, because it is not only taking the load but also restricting the movement also. So that way, whenever there is anchor, you will find these beams with some extra precautions. You will see bigger beams at anchors. So these are the few criterias where we choose the right anchor, right? So this is how we can define. These anchors are ensuring safety and reliability. These are adding extra stability into the system. We can prevent unwanted pipe movement, we can minimize the stresses in the piping system, and we can protect the sensitive equipment and surrounding structures. So this is how these anchor supports are important in piping system. So this was something about anchor supports. In next section we'll talk about rest of the supports. So thank you for watching. See you in the next part.